and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
I'm Sarah.
And we are here to give you this week's reading picks for New Comic Book Day. There's got to be a better way to say that, because I feel like every week I struggle with that.
You're searching for the right way, and it hasn't happened yet, but you're trying.
If I put any effort other than when we sat down in front of the camera, maybe I would do it better. But there's a ton of books this week. Mm-hmm. It's the first week of the month, and let's start with you, Sarah.
Yeah. I've been absent again, so my apologies.
Having
children, yeah.
We're just glad to have you back.
All right, so I picked this week's Shazam number 2. I wasn't here the last time I picked it, but I still sent it my please tell people to read this book. But I just think Wade and Maura are an awesome team. I think they continue to do fun stuff with this. I love particularly Maura's art. I just think he's an awesome. And so seeing his take on the captain is fun. I mean, it continues to be entertaining. You've got dinosaurs wearing top hats and monocles, upset that he's using magic and not science.
Spouting legal jargon at him.
Exactly. And we were talking earlier just about how Shazam hasn't always, or the captain, or however you want to refer to him at this point, I guess, Billy hasn't really known where he fits into the universe. Like comic artists and writers haven't really known what to do with him. But I think that this is a really fun story. I think if you have any interest in this character remotely, you would really enjoy it. It's just silly. I love Billy. I love the Shazam family. They're one of my favorites. Every time my husband and I go through our comics and we're like, okay, what do we actually want to collect? I'm always like, don't you dare touch my Shazam. Right? Leave them alone. But I think there's something endearing about a kid having to struggle with, getting these powers. And speaking of children, you can hear mine crying in the back room. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta start it. I'm so sorry. But I think there's something endearing about a kid having to battle with these powers and where does he fit within being able to be a kid, but also having this massive responsibility to take care of, the universe at large. So I've always really, really loved Billy and Mary and the entire family of Shazam. So I think this is an awesome take on the character.
Yeah, I think Wade is doing a really good job of getting back to the roots of the character. Yep. I mean, Billy and being a kid and having all those issues is really important, but he's also made it make sense in the modern world.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, one of the things I like is, he's doing that, but he's also, keeping a lot of the new stuff. He's not, throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh,
You've got the whole, new Shazam family. You got Darla and all that, and they're great. Yep.
Yeah, he's managing all of that together so well.
Yeah, and it's just funny stuff in terms of I think there's one bit where the T-Rex comes in and he's got all this paperwork, and one of the characters says, "This is because of phone book," and Darla goes, "What's a phone book?"
It's awesome. Yeah. Yep. All right. And by the magic of editing, Fritz, it's now your turn.
Oh, hey. So my pick was the final issue of the current Flash one, Flash 800. Kind of a big celebration of, the Flash in general, but Wally West gets the lion's share of the focus here, as he deserves. And we were talking about before this that I'm definitely one of those people where favorite Flash is Wally, best Flash. Obviously subjective, but to be fair, Barry gets his time to shine in here. There's a fun little story with impulse because the main draw of this is the lead story. It's by the Jeremy Adams, the guy who's been writing it for the last 2 years, I think now. So he's for all those who are also Wally West fans, you have him to thank for putting him back in the limelight, focusing on his family life and everything, all stuff that had been missing for a decade, basically. So he gets to do this fun little story. It's that kind of traditional villains are talking about oh, what's the problem with dealing with going to this city? This superhero can't be that bad to deal with, and it turns out You'd be surprised. But also with this, we get the return of a bunch of like basically anyone in the last like 30 years who's had a big impact on the Flash. So like I mentioned the Impulse story, so you've got Mark Waid back doing that. It's a fun little step between issues of his run back in the day. Just Bart being very Bart in terms of trying to do his best, but not really good at listening to anyone about things. You've got Jeff Johns is back doing a story about Zoom, like basically his big contribution to his time on the title. Joshua Williams gets to do a nice little Barry and Iris going on a date that like won't say too much about, but like it's a very nice little like capstone to like their relationship from his run. And then the final story is the basically kind of setting up for the new ongoing Flash coming in, I think September is when it's supposed to be coming out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that from Cy Spurrier and Mike DiDato Jr. And it's got a very different vibe. Like it's like there's almost more like a sci-fi horror thing going on with it, but like not in a way that like feels like out of place with the superheroism of it all. And it's just, I don't know, I'm very curious to see where they go with it because like they're throwing like some wrinkles into like how the powers might be affected by this. Yeah, like there's some weird interdimensional shenanigans that might be going on.
Interesting.
Yeah, but no, it's like it's really fun. My only complaint is not enough Jay Garrick, but he's getting his own miniseries coming up later, so I think that qualifies as good enough then.
Yeah.
But no, if you're a Flash fan, this is a really fun read. It's just like a nice little like send off for the current run and just like celebration of the character as a whole. But no, definitely check it out, especially again if you're a Wally West fan, as you should be.
Excellent.
Yeah, but over to you, Patrick.
Well, I went with Fantastic Four number 8, and Ryan North has been writing this run, and it's been really...
We've picked this title a couple times.
We have picked this title a couple times, and I think it's interesting to point out, this might be the first time in a while that we've gone superhero across the board with all 3 of us here.
I think so.
And all kind of, high-profile superhero books, too. But, the Fantastic Four has gotten in trouble with the authorities because they, have run into cataclysmic events that need to be resolved right now. And the way that they're resolving them, it's not bad, but people are questioning whether or not they should have the authority to make those decisions.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta blot out the sun for a bit to like kill interdimensional bacteria.
Right? Yeah. Which was, that's kind of one of those, when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's one of those things that people say, like, well, if you actually did this, there'd be like bacteria or something that you'd bring back, but nobody's ever really done it.
Yeah, and just have like, and I don't know, as you're probably gonna say, like the fun, like there are these very like fun little like weird sci-fi stories that like are just a blast.
Which is great because they're explorer scientists, right? Like it's a family of explorer scientists. Also, maybe a convenient storytelling way to just not have to deal with the children for a while and focus specifically just on the 5.
Imagine dealing with children.
Right? Yeah. But so they're kind of hiding out, at a farm that Ben Grimm's family owns, and something's going on in this town that's a mystery that needs to be solved, and specifically Sue and Alicia are the ones who are in charge of it. Yes, exactly. So it's just really well done. North gets the characters. Johnny is goofy and funny, and Reed is, Sue and Alicia are going on a supply run because Alicia needs more art supplies, and Reed is like, hey, I need some more Bunsen beakers. Can you pick those up at the hardware store? And Sue's like, they're not going to have those. Like, he's just so out of touch with everything, because he's so focused on, like, why wouldn't Bunsen beakers be everywhere? Like, doesn't everybody use these all the time?
Also, with this run, I never want to read a Fantastic Four comic that doesn't have Alicia in there somehow because, like, I've always enjoyed her, but this one in particular, just like, she's just such a fun part of it.
Yeah.
Like, because she's like, she doesn't have any superpowers, so she brings this, like, really fun dynamic to it that the rest of them don't.
Yeah.
And,
well, she grounds them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really good. The art is fun. I've been really enjoying the series. But. Well, thank you for joining us. That's all that we've got for today. We do have a big comic book sale that we've been running. We've got a ton of dollar books and 50-cent books that we're selling at half price. So books at 50 cents and a quarter a piece. Even if you've been here, we've been restocking as we're going. So we've got 4 extra tables in addition to the hundreds of boxes that we've already got out. I think our count is...
You see, he's getting excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. I
He
think
loves the
our
comics.
count for boxes is somewhere in the 150 range for dollar books right now. So we've got tons and tons and tons of dollar books. We're also doing back issues $99 and under are 10% off during the sale. It only runs through this weekend, so hurry in and check that out. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I'm sure you know how to do it because everybody asks you to. And we will be back next week with our picks. And maybe it'll be the Fantastic Four of us, and maybe it'll just be 3 of us. But we appreciate you joining. Thank you. Have a great day. Deadpool, now with more torso and less arm and leg. Brought to you by Rob Liefeld.
You know, if